New Year, Inside Lines fam. I'm your host, Atoya Burleson, and can you believe that it's the new year and that the regular NFL season is over? The last few games did not disappoint, and the playoffs are now solidified. Speaking of solidified, fantasy football is now over, and we had 5 separate teams of 10 battling it out this year, and the champions are officially crowned. For Team Silver, it was won by Katie in the end zone. For Team Black, it was won by Team Saints Lady. Although the Saints didn't have a great year this year, Katie sure did. Congratulations to her. Next up, Team Blue, and You're Killing Me Smalls won the championship there. Team White battled it out. And here for the tight ends won that battle. Congrats to you. And finally, Team Pink was won by the commissioner, Team Atoya. Yes, that's right, y'all. I have two-peated. I am so pumped and so proud. And I was thinking about this. 2 years in a row, I might be a pretty dope GM. Now, I could never coach. But I can evaluate and I could be a GM behind the scenes building because my evaluation skills are through the roof. No, but seriously, congratulations to all the winners. I am proud of the Inside Lines Fantasy Football League and all that we've built in the past few years. And I look forward to next year being even bigger and better. Also, congratulations to all the NFL players that made the Pro Bowl this year. You earned every vote with your blood, sweat, and tears. And congratulations to the rookie, Jalen Daniels, who had one of the highest, I think, players being voted in for the Pro Bowl as a rookie quarterback. That says a lot. So congratulations to you as well. Okay, lots of congratulations because it's the new year. Congratulations that we all made it to the new year. I'm wishing you all the best in 2025. And speaking of the best, I would like to get into our episode by the one and only real estate mogul, NFL wag T. Tolbert. Enjoy. On the podcast today, we have a native of Houston, Texas, who spent 19 years working for the federal government as a human resource specialist, while also working as a realtor for over 16 years. She recently retired from the HR department in 2021 to focus on her real estate career and start her own brokerage prestige real estate group. She also wrote a book titled The Homebuyers Guide, which I absolutely love. It walks first-time home buyers through the home buying process. And she is the mother and soon-to-be wife of a blended family who loves hanging with her family and friends. Please welcome to the show, Teniqual Tolbert.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, everyone. How are you guys doing?
I am so happy that we finally made this happen to
Finally.
There's so many amazing layers to who you are and all that you've done.
Thank you.
I'm so excited to talk about that. Starting with, of course, what we talked about in your intro.
Yes, a lot.
You worked with the federal government and human resources for how long?
20 years.
20 years.
Yes.
How did you even get started there, and what kept you coming back for so long?
I actually got started after 9/11, and today is actually 9/11. I started with TSA, and I was under the Department of Homeland Security for 20 years. I moved into logistics, and then after logistics, I went into human resources, which was like my place, what I absolutely loved. So it was really a great time and experience, just getting to work with different people, help different people along the way. So it was a fun department.
And while you were doing it, you said to yourself, you know what? I want to dibble down on this real estate side.
Right. So I actually loved everything it was about dealing with real estate. So I loved showing homes. I loved helping people actually buy their dream home, and that fulfillment of actually going and walking them through the process step by step, and them actually ending up actually getting their dream home was just so important to me. So I just loved it and stuck with it. And it has been some trying times after, through the market, but it's just something that's just been dear to my heart that I've just enjoyed a career.
So, okay, were you one of those people that when that like went house just going around looking at open houses and walking in? Like, were you one of those people? Because my mom was one of those people. Like, let's go check
I
out
have
this
a
house.
crazy obsession. Like, while most people are on YouTube, I am actually looking at houses and on the housing market, just looking at what's new, what's been sold, looking at new features in homes that were not originally in homes 5 to 10 years ago. And I just love it. It's kind of like a sick obsession.
Yeah, it is really fun because you want to see, and you always like, for me, I'm to the point now, I not only want to see the house, but I'm going to find something that they could have done better. I am always that person. Like, you know what? They could have made this closet a little bigger.
Yes,
like,
definitely.
Just those little things is always something.
And those smart features of the house now. Like, now you can actually, 16 years ago, it was not like that. But now you can actually start talking to your house and telling it what you want it to do. Turn off the lights. Open the blinds. Play music. It's amazing how much
technology's crazy.
Yes. It's amazing now. So I enjoy it.
That's awesome. Okay, so we got to talk about this journey because I know somewhere in the middle of all of this, not only did you work for the federal government and human resources, but you also went on this journey of real estate.
Yes.
And while you had babies, like, how did you do all this?
I don't know. When I go back and I think about it, like, how was I able to do this? Because my oldest, she's 16 now. So I actually, my first showing, she was there in the car with somebody when I went on my first showing. It's quite crazy. But just being a mother and also having this career that, I enjoyed helping people, but then I also had like this sick obsession where I kind of like enjoyed learning new things and going into new homes and then wanting to, I would say, just really be able to take my family to the next level as far as financially, because I had a career that, I was able to sustain on, but then it was also like, this was like a part-time job for me and it went out the roof. So just helping one person brought 5 more people and they were always like, hey, she can help you. She can help you. So it just kind of turned it into where I went from a session of just enjoying homes to then helping people with their home and then building my family off of that as well.
Which is amazing that you're able to do all that. It's absolutely amazing. And it just goes to show people out there, you can do more than one thing. We are not put in a box and expected to do one thing your entire life. You're an example of that. You were like, while I'm doing this, I'm also going to do this while taking care of my family. So,
and I think the key is also things that you enjoy. I feel like because I enjoyed it, it never really felt like a job. Because I didn't feel like, I got to go do that. It was like, I got to go to work. I'm doing this because it was something that felt good to me. And I feel like if you stick to those type of things in your career, that will help you versus you just seeking the money, because then you potentially can get burnt out.
That's a great advice. Great advice. Okay, we're going to talk about the Homebuyers Guide.
Yay.
You wrote this amazing book. And I'm sure... Yes.
There it
Flex
is.
on them, sis. Well, first of all, that's just the front. It's the beautiful. Yes. Show them the pictures on the ends. I mean, it is gorgeous. The way you did it, you felt special, right? It's not like, we always have those typical notes where you take notes in there.
Right.
Look, T made it so beautiful. It makes you want to go through it and read more and learn more. Talk about what inspired you to do this.
So after helping a lot of people, I just kept running into the same issues that most people had. They didn't know where to start. They didn't know the do's and don'ts. So I wanted to kind of give people a starting place of what you would need to do to actually buy a house. No matter what state you're in, no matter what economic status you're in, this is kind of like the blueprint of getting started when you don't know much about the process. And I wanted to make it kind of like fun and exciting. And I started working on it, and all was going well. And then I actually got pregnant. And so then I kind of slowed down. I was going through the whole like pregnancy, not feeling good. So I wasn't able to keep going. And then after I had her, kind of like going through postpartum, it was like my joy that was helping me that made me feel like I was getting back to myself, and I could continue to do the work that I enjoy doing while also, going through the changes of motherhood with having, someone in high school and then having a newborn. Yes. So I just dove into it like right after I had her, and I finished it and published it as well.
Okay, so tell everyone where they can find it.
So if you go into the link in my bio, either on social media, and also the webpage is firsttimehomebuyersguide.com. You can get the link there as well.
firsttimehomebuyersguide.com.
Yes.
Okay. So you know what I really loved about it, T, is you kind of dibble-dabbled into many aspects of it. Yes. Like, the vision, right? Talking about the vision. What do you want your home to look like? What do you want in there? Because what I noticed, and I think about this when I first started looking at homes, you just look at the homes, right? And you're like, oh, this is a nice home. But you don't actually think about how it would be if you were in there, what you really use a lot, the things that you really want. And features. You did a great job making people think about those things in the book as well.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure, because buying a house can also kind of feel like buying a new car or anything, and you get overly excited and you walk in a house and it smells good and it's new paint and it has decor around it and it looks amazing and you're like, I want this one. But then eventually you get this house and it doesn't fit your family's needs because the bathroom, you don't have double sinks, or you don't, and it's just those small things that you really don't think about because you're just walking into this home and it's brand new, it looks great. And then I just wanted to draw my buyers back down into where they're checking the things off their list, because I truly believe in like manifestations, and a lot of this things that are in the book are about, your visions and your manifesting, your dream home. So what does that look like? Does that look like, the model home, or does that look like something that you've created yourself and that'll work ideally for your family? So I put spaces off in the book so that you can go and, create a vision board with not only just yourself, your spouse, your children, just different things that you guys know that you may need. You may need built-in nooks, bookshelves and different things like that, and those are the things you don't really think about. But then when you're in that room and you're like, oh, good, this would have looked right here. So I just try to keep people reeled in with the things that you actually need versus those things that you want. A lot of clients come in, they're like, oh, I want a chef's kitchen. It's like, you don't even cook. Like, so
real talk.
I'm just, and so I can tell you that, of course, but what are the things that you're saying you're really going to need that's going to keep you in your home and also fit your financial budget as well?
That's what people don't think about. They see the glitz and the glamour of the home, and they may not have the financial means to get that. They kind of live, what they say, beyond your needs or above your needs.
Beyond means.
Means. And I think about that because a lot of people get in trouble that way. They think about building these elaborate things. And to your point, the chef's kitchen, the big
you may go into foreclosure and God forbid. So a lot of the things that I teach them is education. I start with, hey, these are the things you need to know when you're buying a house, whether it's property taxes, homesteads, different things like that. And people are always like, what's that? And I tell them that, and I teach them this because I don't want to be that person that you're calling. You're like, we can't keep our home. I want to be that person that we're going to our next bigger home. We're going to our dream home. This was our starter home and we're moving on. So those are the things that I try to instill and teach them. So,
you know what I was just thinking about, T?
What?
I was thinking about my home now, right?
Okay.
When we first bought this home, we've been here now for a little over 4 years.
Okay.
We moved here when my boys I think they were just starting high school. My daughter was just starting middle school.
Okay.
And it was filled up. We have all their friends over. We had everybody up
the party house.
The party. Everybody that was in the basement, they would sleep down there. People be coming up. I'm like, when'd you get here?
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed the experiences, of that time with my kids. And my two oldest boys, they are now in college. I have back to back 18 and 20. They're in college. Just dropped my second son off to play football. My oldest is there as well. And so now we're down to one, right? And let me tell you, this house seems so much bigger with just my one baby girl. I was like, like things that you don't think about. I think that in the moments of like buying the home, you do want to make sure everyone has space and everyone's comfortable,
Right.
but you don't think about they really gonna leave. And like, my house feels so big now. So I say that to you. What would you say I still have 4 years of my daughter. She just started high school, but in 4 years, I'll be an empty nester. What advice would you give me? Do I stay?
One
do
thing
I
that
go?
I always say, one thing I always say, real estate, homes are also an investment, right? So that you always want to look at it as something that, I'm not going to rent an apartment where I'm never going to see a dime of this money again. Like this money, most of the time I will receive some source if I was to decide to resell it. So you want to, it's okay. Like it served its purpose. And if you ever decided to leave, then you would be in a position to where you can move and you would be in a great district, a good school, so that someone else could want and come and get that home. You can resell that home and then you can always buy what you want. It could be something a little bit smaller just for you and your hubby and, still fit your family needs. I know we always talk about a forever home, but sometimes it's not forever. And sometimes it's just a stepping stone to our next home and we can use the resources. So now that we're moving into this newer home, we don't have to go and pull in our savings and go in our investments to buy this home. We can actually use the resale and pocket a lot of the extra money. So I would definitely say it's not a bad thing. It served its purpose. It's great. When you do decide to downside, I would just say that just kind of stick to that perspective that, we're going to use this to move forward as a tool and not something where we have this heavy load on us now.
Yeah. Great advice. Love, love, love. Okay. I have one more piece of advice or one more question for you to give me advice on, and many listening when I think about, this NFL world. We didn't say who you were engaged. Do you want to talk about?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. It's fine.
Okay. So when I met T, well, first of all, T and I met in Nevis for the first time in St. Kitts. We flew into St. Kitts for Ladies Playbook. We had an ambassador retreat there, and it was absolutely amazing. And I learned so much about her, and everything that she went through to even get there was that's a whole nother story. But I say all that to say I found out that she's engaged.
Yay.
And she's having a beautiful and amazing wedding in
Anguilla.
Okay, so if y'all haven't been to Anguilla, it's off the chain. So I know it's going to be amazing. But, she talked about these blended families. And I think about you being engaged, and I think about players, right? Yeah. Think about your fiance, your significant other, where they live in multiple states.
Right.
Like
we live in multiple states.
Right? Yes. You could be in, in New Jersey one minute, Denver the next. We all know how it works. What do you say to players that think about buying homes in the state where they play?
Oh, so I think that depending on where they actually playing at is, where if or not you should decide to buy. Okay. And the reason why is because every city and every state that we have been in would not been a place that I think that we should have tried to purchase a home. But there have been some places like Chicago and different places like that it's like, okay, this community is thriving. It would be beneficial not only for me, but if I did get, signed to another team, that I could lease my place out to another player or another person that lives in this community that would actually want to pay rent and different things like that, so that I can use this as income. And also it could be a tax write-off. It could be, so it just depends. Like I said, every place wouldn't be ideal, but certain places that people prefer to move to in communities like that, it is a great idea to go ahead and purchase where you're at.
Okay, I love that because you hear both sides. Some people like do it, some people like don't do it.
Yeah, and I say it's based on the dynamics of, is this going to be somewhere that you can commute to or have somebody there to help you and assist you when you're not in that city? Right. Is it something you want to just hold for a couple of years, 2 to 3 years, and then resell it and make the income off of it? It's also always, like one of the most ideal things to do as an investment. So just depending on what the market is doing, I probably would lean more to yes versus no.
Okay, I love that. And then what about those players that they may have an idea where they want to live after, they're done? Do you suggest they wait to buy, or do you suggest that they find something while they're playing?
I would definitely suggest to find something while you're playing, due to the income. And I've learned this a lot firsthand, dealing with other player wives and different things like that, where, you have a nice contract and then lenders don't want to particularly lend to you because your contract may only be for a year or 2 years and you're signing a mortgage for 30 years. So most of the time, 30 to 15 years. So just a typical loan. So if you're not an ideal candidate for these people because you don't have a signed contract for multiple years. So it's always best while you are in contract and you do have an actual job to go ahead and purchase you something as far as where you can use as your homestead instead of leasing and doing things like that. Because once your contract is over, then the only income you have is what you've made.
That's true.
So a lot of times it's more difficult. The interest rates are higher, way higher, based on just income loans. And it's just more red tape and a big hassle for some players.
Great. I had to ask you those questions because we get those questions and a lot of people don't know. They don't know what to do, and
I wish that people would, Yeah, definitely.
So I know you mentioned we got to go back really quick. You mentioned your Instagram handle. You said to go there if they want to find out more, look into this book, reach out to you, ask questions. Can you let everyone know what your Instagram handle is?
So it's Glamazon T, is GLAMONTEE. And that's on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok and different things like that. And then those are my social media. And then you can also, like I said, go to the First Time Homebuyers Guide, and you can find also my handles there of reaching out, or just send me a DM or an email. All of it's listed there.
Okay. We're going to talk about one more thing because I'm two more things. One is motherhood for you. Yes. You talked about it a little bit. You have a 16-year-old daughter playing volleyball.
Yes, and she's signed and committed to Iowa State already.
That is amazing. You should be so proud.
I am. I'm super proud.
That is amazing. But then you decided to start over.
Yes, I did.
Talk about it. You first have to tell us the story. I need to know how y'all met.
Okay, so we actually met through one of my guy friends. Oh God! So one of my guy friends, Angelo, came to one of his stores, and he had a picture of him and Angelo together. And I was like, who is this guy you're in the picture with? And he was like, oh, I don't know. He's one of my friend's friends. So I was like, oh, okay. And then the next day he called me and he's like, hey, I hooked you up with that guy you told me you wanted me to hook you up with. And I was like, oh my God, what are you talking about? What guy? You know, he's like laughing. And if you know this person, this is the worst person. Okay. With the joke, this is not just like someone who's going to go and say something sane, you know? And so we actually communicated through there, but we didn't really talk much. And then later we went on a date, and I don't think we ever stopped going on dates after that.
That's awesome.
So, yeah.
Love
and
that story.
We have a 2-year-old now. So we also he has 2 girls and a boy. And then we have my two girls. So we're a blended family, mainly all girls in the house. And Angelo is pretty much the only guy. He doesn't really have much I would say so right now. So he's not probably living his best life in a house with just full of girls. And they range from 16 to 2. And they are just living their best life right now. So motherhood has been fun, but it's also, you know, it's a blended family. So it comes with its challenges. But overall, I can just say that it's just been a learning experience, a fun experience for the both of us, and just trying to go through. I help where I can. He helps where he can. I mean, sometimes he's at the volleyball game. Sometimes I'm picking up from school. We just make it work.
I love that. And I love how much you love all of the kids. You know, I think about
them. They're my babies.
Just listening to you talk and the things that you say. It was beautiful to hear that.
Oh, thank you.
Even to the point where sometimes you tend to neglect yourself. And we talked about that a little bit, like that self-care part. As women, we struggle because we're always giving our all to everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And that's been a transition. I think it came with, you know, and the Nevis trip was something for me that I gave to myself. And I'm glad I did, because I got to meet some beautiful, you know, individuals and kind of piggyback off you guys' strength and learn from you guys and hopefully feed things into you guys as well.
Yes.
But that's kind of been one of those things where it's like, man, you know, on your agenda, it's like, you know, you want to be the best mom you can be. You want to be the best spouse you can be. You want to be supportive to your friends and family. You want to do all these things. And so you're constantly checking things off your list of like, I need to be here. I need to do this. And then like you turn around and you look and you're like, oh, what did I do for me? And you don't even really know what that looks like anymore. Well, I didn't. And so I had to kind of like get back into that. And I have a supportive spouse, and I'm so glad that he's never been like, you know, he's always like, yeah, take your time, do what you need to do. I got the girls. So I think I can't say it was just like me losing that, because I was directed into so many situations and traveling with volleyball and trying to get my daughter committed and trying to teach this one how to walk. And then my bonus babies, you know, like I said, they're so much fun because my oldest is a tomboy. The next one, my bonus baby, she's like the girl, like
girly girl.
Girly girl. Like we go get our nails done together. We're going to get lip gloss. Like we're in Sephora, just walking around. It's like I get to get that other, you know, side that I didn't get to get, because they all have so many different personalities. And the other one, you know, she just want to lay on the couch with me and watch TV and chill. She's like, my chill baby. We're going to get snacks. We're going to get, you know, our favorite snacks, and we're coming back home and we're getting in the blanket and we're watching the show. So it's really, at this point, it's really kind of fulfilling. And those dynamics makes everything worth it. But then at the same time, I had to remember, like, okay, you have to do these things for you. You have to meet with your girlfriends. Yes. You have to go to lunch. You have to set that time, because that's like the first thing that's off my list. I'm like, hey, girl, I'm sorry. I got to, you know, run Taylor here. I got to do that. And my girlfriends are supportive. But then it's also like when I go out and we're having lunch together, I'm like, I needed this. Yes. I needed to just laugh with you.
You don't even realize it.
You don't.
You're like, this filled my cup. I needed this cup, right?
Right. I needed to giggle and laugh and just, you know, be girly and those things. So I think it's very important.
With your girls.
It's nothing. I think it's very important to not check that off your list, to, make those times where you take some time, whatever that looks like for yourself. Mm-hmm. And then as much as you're into motherhood and, your spouse as well.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, we're going to play a little game. You ready?
Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness.
I'm going to take it easy on you. This is called the 2-minute drill. You get 2 minutes. I'm going to ask you this or that questions or fill in the blank questions, and you just tell me your thoughts.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. 2 minutes starts now. Okay. Name your favorite sports team.
Right now, I would say probably volleyball right now. So it would probably be Texas UT.
Love it. All right. Mm-hmm. Holidays with family or friends?
Holidays with family.
Girls trip or couples trip?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think you need both. I just told you I figured that out. So I would say 50, but definitely a couples first, and then girls
that's
trip.
Fair. City life or country life?
I'm a country girl. I'm from Texas, so definitely country.
Love. Okay. Work hard or work smart?
Definitely work smart. Working
all right.
hard.
Volleyball or football?
Volleyball.
Yes, you got that 16-year-old. Absolutely.
I know. Volleyball.
Tell me what you enjoy more, adventure or relaxation?
Now, that is a tough one because I'm both. I love a new experience. I'm addicted to it. Like, I just love just trying something new. But I'm also like, I want it to be a peaceful experience. I know. Okay. Well, I'm going with the new experience.
Okay.
I'm going with the new experience.
Adventure. Okay. Music or podcast?
I'm a music girl.
Okay. Real estate or 9 to 5?
Real estate.
Dressing up or casual wear?
Casual.
If you could tell your younger self anything, what would it be?
It's going to get better.
Oh.
It's always going to get better.
And you hit it right when the timer went off. That was literally perfect timing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, one last question for you, T. What is next for you?
So what is next? Right now, I'm actually in the process of taking these different components that I had, real estate, credit repair, first-time home buyer, and funnel it into one to make it into one chapter, and also introducing taxes, and then being able to teach people the fundamentals, basics of what all you'll need. Because when you buy a home, it's not just what I make from my 9 to 5 that can buy a house. It's your credit, it's your financial stability, it's all these different resources that kind of even come from human resources, right?
Yeah.
Have you set up your retirement, and just kind of funneling all that into one program that can assist people when they begin the home buying process.
I love that. That's beautiful because, to your point, people don't know the entire process. They think, one thing at a time, but you're like, no, you need to see the big picture. So that's beautiful. Because
I've watched so many people in human resources when they're out the door in retirement, and a lot of them did not have a legitimate retirement. Mm-hmm. And you think, hey, I don't want them to take so much out of my check, or I don't want to invest into things, different things like that. And then when it's time, you're leaving at 65, it's going to be kind of difficult. So you want to kind of take the time while you're working or you have a career to put those things first. Yes. And they can help you long term.
And I know we talked about how people can get a hold of you on social. And you also, can you, for one last time, tell everyone where they can find all of this information? I know you mentioned the website.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So the website is the homebuyers.com, the firsttimehomebuyer.com. And there's also another website the homebuyersguide.com. So it's two websites. But yeah, either or, you can reach me. I'm also on social media as Glamazon T, GLAMONTEE. And you can either send me an email. There's a link in my bio. You can either go to my email address, or you can use the website and contact one of me and my team members, and we'll be there to assist you guys.
And we'll make sure to add it in the show notes as well, T.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Teniqual
for
Tolbert,
having me.
gracing the podcast. You are
No
so
problem.
amazing. I
Thank
loved
you.
listening to you and just learning what you're doing, even when you're in Nevis. And so I appreciate you coming on and sharing this with so many others, because now they have a resource that they can reach out to, someone that they can talk to and trust. So,
and thank you for doing this. Thank you for giving all of us ladies an opportunity. Thank you for taking out your time and just really going above and beyond to do this. So we're all grateful for it.
All right. Well, that's our show. For the latest on the Inside Lines podcast, make sure to follow on both Instagram and Facebook. You can also check out the website, InsideLinesPodcast.com, and listen to your favorite episode. Lastly, check out the YouTube page, Inside Lines Podcast, and make sure to subscribe and hit the bell so that you know when a new episode comes out. And please leave an amazing 5-star review online and let us know who you'd like to hear on Inside Lines Podcast. Until next time, leave it all out on the field. Thanks for listening.